After going on a playdate with Panavision, it would be disappointing to go back to all the low budget stuff, right? Today's subjects are JDC's Xtal Xpres lenses, which we had the pleasure to use on a short film for a 48-hour film competition here in Vancouver. Run and Gun 2023, and we made it to the semifinals. I was the producer on this one, and Dallas Swiatek, who's been on the channel a couple of times already, was the cinematographer. So let's check it out.
At the end of your life, when you return to God's presence, what will you have to show for your faith? Will you tell him you stayed home and binge-watched Pureflix? Or will you tell him, Lord, I heard your call. I've spread your word. I suffered under the sun for your church. God is with you as you dig wells, as you build walls, as you raise roofs. Your blisters will be in service to God. You get to travel the world. Hey, are you stealing from the donations box in front of God's eyes in the literal house of the Lord? Ethel, what the heck?
Nobody puts anything good in these donation boxes.
Can you just get out of here and let me practice?
So you're trying to convince these kids to exchange a summer of labor for eternal paradise?
No, this is about more than just summer. Okay, I'm teaching these kids how to live a life in service to God, how to live a life honoring God. Didn't you learn anything from our mission trip?
Did you? You got food poisoning and then spent the whole 2 weeks groaning in your bunk bed. And you missed out on all of the white savior tourism.
God works in mysterious ways. It was his will for me to get diarrhea then, and it's his will for me to go on this trip tomorrow.
You know you're just providing an opportunity for these kids to hook up in another country.
Okay, well, teenagers will be tempted anywhere, and I trust that God will give them the strength to resist. Plus, I'll be there to chaperone them or whatever.
Tommy, have you seen your complexion? You'll burn to a crisp the minute you step off that plane.
Why would you say that? You know that I'm scared of getting skin cancer. Look, my mom got me some SPF 80, but I still don't know if that's gonna cut it.
Hey, it's gonna be okay. You can wear one of those hats with the neck flap. You're gonna be fine, and hey, you might even enjoy yourself this time.
I'm just so scared. I heard about that missionary who got eaten by cannibals.
You are going to Puerto Vallarta. There is no cannibals. And if there was, you might just be a little too bland.
I have a confession to make. I wasn't sick on our trip. I was just too scared to leave the hotel room. It wasn't diarrhea, it was fear.
Tommy, you know if you don't want to go, you don't have to go.
Ethel, this is a sign. God is speaking through you. I shouldn't go.
All right, well, that's settled then. You'll just disappoint all the kids and not go.
I've just obliterated any chance I had of ever becoming a pastor, and I feel like a new me. Ecclesiastes 7:8-18. Endings are better than beginnings. What should we do now?
Oh, no, sorry, I actually have to go, you know, for the trip tomorrow. I'm the chaperone. See you in a few months.
The lenses came from Panavision, and they are the legendary JDC Cooke Xtal Xpres. There are a few other Xtal Xpres lenses like Canon and Zeiss, but all of them just get lumped as Cookes. The Cookes are the slowest ones at t2.3, but also the largest set with 8 focal lengths. How many times have you seen an 18mm 2x anamorphic? Or even a 25mm like this one? I was able to actually figure out that we were using the Cooke versions thanks to the Cine lens manual, as I lined up the t-stops and the focal lengths that we had with the information from the lens manual. And it actually makes perfect sense that Panavision had these lenses, considering they bought JDC's brand and inventory back in 2007. JDC stands for Joe Dunton Camera, funded by Dunton in 1976. The scopes were commissioned by Joe himself in the late 70s in Japan, and they use Shiga anamorphic glass, which was handcrafted for these and several other classic anamorphics such as Todd AO and Cine Vision. Besides our humble short film, Xtal Xpres lenses have been used on films such as The Return of the Jedi, Poltergeist, Guardians of the Galaxy, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Ex Machina, and many others. The lenses use a variable diopter at the front of the optical system, which simplified design greatly. And we have some really big pieces here, like this 25mm. Each lens has a different front diameter, meaning we'd have 6 different matte box backs to switch on set. Unlike today's cinema standards thing, these lenses were all different sizes and gear positions, and still incredibly sought after. I was able to swing them on the S5 II I was using for BTS and actually film all the behind the scenes using the Xtal Xpres lenses. I'm absolutely in love with how they flare, and this has become my main reference for what anamorphic flares should look like. That said, they all needed to be stopped down at least 1 full stop for decent sharpness. Most of this BTS is at T4, with a few shots at T2.3. The only one which escaped this curse was the 75mm, and that's the one we used wide open for most of the short film itself. So when Dallas and I were chatting about the lenses and I said that they were soft, he disagreed and then needed a wide, and I could use the 75mm. So we both figured out the other one was right about their conclusions. I saw that the 75 was sharp wide open, and he saw that all of the other ones were kind of soft wide open. There's a ton of focus fall off and chromatic aberration, and not even the center itself is sharp enough to tell it's in focus when wide open. As sharp as it gets was my way of working with these lenses on the day. On the upside, the images they deliver are absolutely stunning and transpire with character. Not a good fit if you're doing corporate work or need super sharp results though. Run and gun was an amazing experience and a perfect setting to test gear on a real set, as opposed to random lens tests. What did you think of this episode and about our short film? The format and subject are a little different from my usual, and I'd love to hear your input. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Chita Verhellens, out.